Hi, this is Trish Brunoni. I'm an actress. You may know me as that dead girl in 80 different films. Thanks for tuning in to Three Geeks Podcast.
I am joined by Mr. Max Andrews.
What's up?
To the right of me, I don't know how it's going to show up on your
Maybe.
side, but to the right of me is John Orlando. Underneath him is Mr. Dan. We've got Justin, a.k.a. Yoo-Hoo. And right above him, we have Mike
from the now world famous. I'm sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to step on your thing. But
It's all good.
From the famous podcast, Three Geeks Podcast, Yoo-Hoo and Tang. The one and the only Yoo-Hoo. I'm sorry.
Right,
You got to get his intro. Yeah, I mean... Justin, thank you. Thank you.
I think we should have like a whole like a WWE intro for that. Really play it up.
For sure.
That can be done.
Oh, man, you're fine.
Oh, wow. See, look at this. This is professionalism.
Party now.
This guy listens to his own podcast.
I do. So this is our first episode here on Redline Radio, LLC. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't tell you how excited we are to be doing this on multiple platforms, and Dave for giving us the opportunity to jump on board with help from John and Randy from Canned Air. So thanks to you guys. We brought the whole crew. It's going to be a lot of fun.
No Scott, though.
No Scott. Well, Scott still might join. Scott is MIA, but he's got 2 hours to join us.
Yeah, that's true.
He'll be fashionably late.
Yeah, the time is, we got plenty of time.
The preview for Star Trek Lower Decks probably made his head explode.
Yeah, he might be like having an aneurysm. He's like crapped his pants and he's laying dead in his bedroom, and his like fiance is about to walk in on it. It's a good scene.
What's with CBS All Access doing animated shows? Because I saw an ad for they're doing like the CBS Morning News animated.
I don't know.
I'm not making that up.
That's
I know
awesome.
That sounds like a shtick, but no. Yeah,
No.
It's all animated. Like the anchors are all animated.
That is awesome.
I watched the show one day at a time, and so what they did, because COVID ruined the taping, they filmed, they animated the last episode, and then they just had the celebrities, do the voices and stuff. So maybe
They did that for the Blacklist too.
Oh, did they?
Huh.
Yeah, the final episode of the Blacklist for the season was done. Half of it was live, and half of it was animated.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool little thing that people are doing. I like that.
Yeah, I'm down.
I wasn't a fan of the episone, but I still thought it was cool.
I can FaceTime somebody and my head looks like a octopus or something. So it's the technology's there. The technology's there. So why not? I would much rather my news be animated than real people. It's depressing, Like I hate looking into these like soulless newscasters' eyes. And then all they're gonna give me is bad news. Like at least like when you give me bad news, like drop an anvil on somebody's head. Like do something to kind of just like okay, there's 130,000 people dead. Blong! Oh my head! Like anything to ease up on that pressure.
Now, because the weather.
Or you can make it like the newscasters have anime powers and can save said people.
No,
I mean,
I feel like hope is not something that they should really be trying to dole out too much.
Just don't dole out hope. It's fine.
No,
And I hate to ruin it for both of you, or all three of you. I don't think it's that way. I think it's just them sitting at the desk animated. I don't think there's any like animals becoming involved.
Okay, you've already taken. Why only take a half step?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, why not just make an animated show out of it? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, like they had a good idea. It's like, why wouldn't you go the full? Why didn't you make a show out of it? Like, that's
go the full Monty.
That's dumb. They had a good idea, and they only went halfway.
So if you guys are wondering, wow, how have I missed this talent that I'm hearing right now in my earlobes? All you have to do is watch us here. Listen to us here. We also got podcasts that we do every day. We got Animaniacs, Frady Geeks, so much different stuff. You can check that out on
Sports
iTunes.
Nerds, Yoo-Hoo and Tang, monthly poll.
Yoo-Hoo Tang hasn't been released yet, but it comes out on Tuesday. So definitely check all that stuff out. Check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV. And as you know, Mr. John Orlando from the PVD cast, which already airs on Redline Radio.
That's right. Monday nights, 9:30, right here on this fabulous network of Redline Radio. And you can also check out my podcast over at pvdcast.com or all of the usual outlets like, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, et cetera, et cetera.
Awesome. Before we get too far into the fun that we usually have, I want to take a minute and talk about two people who passed yesterday. We lost John Saxon and Mr. Regis Philbin. I don't know Regis so well from what he's most known for, which is Live with Kelly and Regis. I know him mostly from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And I loved Regis. I liked hearing I'm a Stern fan, which is one of the reasons I'm excited for this. But they live in the
You're
same.
excited that he's dead?
No. I meant just live stuff. So
Wow.
Stern lives in the same building as Regis, and there was always
That's
these funny
cool,
stories.
man.
Regis used to call into the show, and I just remember how loud Regis would get about stuff. And I will miss that. I've missed that on TV.
Cold-blooded, man. It's like, oh, thank goodness. Finally, Regis bit the dust. Can't stand that guy.
And
I remember him from the live show, and
Do you?
I would only watch when WWF people were on there, and they were on a lot because he was a big wrestling fan. He was at several WrestleManias as a guest, and I appreciated that about him, that you could tell he was genuine, and especially maybe in the early 90s, when the business wasn't doing so well and it was in the toilet a little bit, it was kind of embarrassing to be a wrestling fan. So for him to be out there and this is, the Ultimate Warrior's coming on or Rick Rude's coming on or whatnot, it was pretty badass for me.
I'll shoot over to Mike. Mike, you're usually pretty good at these eulogies.
Yeah. I liked Regis just fine. I saw him every once in a while on Millionaire and on the daytime show, obviously. And from what I can understand, people really liked him and respected him in the business. So they lost a tremendous talent, like the outpouring of people who were sharing a lot of their favorite Regis memories on Twitter and stuff like that was pretty substantial. I remember, what was it? Paul Rubens, I guess, and him did a show or something or movie together at one point. I don't know. I have to look back at the tweet, but he had a picture of both him and Regis in Pee Wee Herman get up, chasing marbles down the street or something. But it looked pretty fun. And, Regis always seemed like a vivacious and lively personality. And as for John Saxon, I mean, I really only knew him from, Enter the Dragon. So, again, to be able to kind of give his stamp or his seal on a long-lasting legacy in film, that's more than what I've amounted to yet in my life. So good for him. And tremendous talents, both of them, will be missed, and up there in years too. So they had a full run, I feel.
Yeah.
You're forgetting Olivia de Havilland.
That's right. That just happened.
She died this morning at 104.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was
Jeez.
Jeez Louise.
The last surviving cast member of Gone with the Wind, right?
Yes, correct.
Well,
Yeah.
again, up there in years, but what a legacy.
104.
Jeez.
Just think about all she's seen, all the changes that her life has experienced,
Yeah, I mean, I'd be blessed to live to 104. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
My great-grandmother lived to be 104.
Really?
Great. Yeah, I met her. I was 2. I don't remember her, but yeah, she did live a long life.
Definitely, it depends on quality of life too, because it's I don't know. I wouldn't want to live to be 104 and just be stationary at 104. Fair. But yeah,
that's fair. If you're a vegetable from 70 to 104, you're not living very well.
I think 75.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that.
Check out at 75 if I have any choice in the matter.
I'm done. This is it.
That's a good run.
Wrap this up, right?
75 years. I feel like that's enough time. You should be able to see all the things that you're trying to see by then. And pack it up. Get out of the way.
Why even 75?
I'm only speaking for myself.
No, I'm about to say, dude, it's like, why not live by, what's his name? Well, the clerk, and it's like, it's better to burn out than to fade away.
Yeah, sure, man. Like, fucking, let's go.
Or Midsummer, right? The whole movie where you have seasons, right? Or you get to jump off a cliff.
Yeah, I don't want to go that way.
You have a hard cliff.
I would jump off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? If that was the tradition, it was like, okay, you hit 75, you go jump off that cliff. I'm like, all right, you know, it's time. Like, I knew coming into this how much time I had, and if you got stuff you didn't do, like, I mean, that's on you, man. Like 75 is enough time for me.
You should jump head first though, because that movie is pretty crazy.
Yeah, especially if
and do anything with them. I'm only speaking for myself. I don't want to make it sound like I just want all the old people to get rounded up or something.
I don't think anybody thought that, Max. I
don't think so.
no. If you live in a society like Midsummer, though, yeah, you should go earlier so that you can remember when you're on top of the cliff to dive head first. That's all. Because
oof.
Because like,
you know what though?
Dude had one job,
but not so.
And
look, we're underplaying the fact that at least it's not like Logan's Run, where your hand lights up at 30.
Whoop,
and
30,
that's it.
time to go.
But you'd also don't want to run the risk that you end up being the candidate for the bear costume.
Yeah.
So.
You have a very big point. Good Lord, that was terrible.
I thought In Time was a good, like, I
You're
could
counting down, yeah.
Yeah, like when your current time is currency, and like you're just 25, and then you're dead. Like like you're 25 for however long you live, but when you don't get old, you just die. Like
it's like Hollywood.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. I thought
so
that
for all you Redline listeners out there, we just spoil all the movies for you. Is basically what we do.
That's the whole premise of
You never saw Logan's Run? Come on.
Well, in Midsummer, that's the first like 20 minutes of the movie. So you're right.
I just instead of reading the back of the box of In Time, I just saved you some trouble. Like that's it. Like there's nothing about like spoiled.
What other movies can we spoil?
We haven't got there yet.
We haven't got there yet.
Hey, Game of Thrones, we go right into TV, right? Have you heard about Targaryens?
I know that John and Dan have prepared top 3 lists for John Saxon. I don't know if Mike did or not, but I wanted to talk about my favorite John Saxon movie, which was Wes Craven's New Nightmare, because I know it's not on either of your lists. I think that movie's great.
True.
And what's that?
I said true. It's not on my list.
I think that movie is great, and that movie paved the way for Scream, and I loved everything about it. And I think he was great in it. The whole blending of reality and the movies. I thought it was really cool.
Dan?
John Saxon. Well, okay, first of all, Regis, I don't really know. He seemed like a nice guy. I never watched any of his shows. So, hey.
Okay.
John Saxon, though. Like in everything.
Like in everything.
From the 80s. No, look, dude. Like I was watching like old A-Team. He's in the second episode.
That's right.
Like,
that's on my
random
list.
Bad guy.
That's on my list.
Murder, She Wrote. He played a dude 3 times. like
different dudes or the same dude?
Different dudes.
He died every time, I think.
Nice.
But yeah, like he was like one of the coolest actors that just played bits that you knew what he looked like, but you never knew his name.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he did get a couple leading things that I really liked. Like if you've ever seen Argento's Tenebrae,
No.
that is a great flick where he's an author. Tenebrae is what it's called. It probably has an English title that's stupid. Please don't show me Max's crotch.
Man, this is live too. You're not there forever.
Yeah, Tenebrae. He's an author, and people around him are getting killed, and it's a whole mystery. But it's it's the giallo kind of thing, so they're all bloody kills and stuff. But it's pretty cool. I would also say I've always loved Mitchell because of Mystery Science Theater.
Yes.
Which wasn't
That's on my
originally
list, too.
on my list, but
That's on my list too.
yeah. There's Enter the Dragon, where okay, he was taught by Bruce Lee. He's not the most convincing martial artist, but his character's suave and cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I had one other one that I forgot. Black Christmas. There you go. He plays the cop. And it's one of my favorite horror movies ever. It's just really freaky, and they could get away with the killer saying things in obscene phone calls that they would not do today. That's as nice as I can make that part.
Yes.
But there's a lot of pretty dirty jokes, and like in all three of these movies, he plays very different roles, but he plays them all very well.
See, I picked Enter the Dragon, you know, because again, I agree, Roper was such a great character.
Oh yeah.
I also picked Mitchell because that movie is horrible, but it's so good. It's so bad, it's good. And I remembered he was in the A-Team, and I looked it up, and when I saw the episode, I'm like, wait, he's the cult leader, and I clicked on IMDb, and it's the Jonestown episode, more or less.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that one. He also was in an episode of Matlock, too, where he played a guy who, it was, the whole murder was that there was a surrogate mother that was giving birth to a child for this couple, and then she ended up dead, and Matlock has to solve the mystery.
John, so you're into Matlock?
Yes, I am. Funny you mentioned that.
Aren't you involved with a Matlock project that maybe you want to talk about real quick?
We could talk about it real quick. And I say we because don't undersell the fact that you're involved in this little...
Oh, I'm absolutely involved. I can't wait. One day we should wear white suits while we record.
He's absolutely going to undersell
the royal we.
The royal we.
The royal we.
Well, for those that don't know, Jason and I have a little side project that we like to work on. It's called Matt Talk. What is it? It's a podcast all about our love of Matlock. And what have we done so far? Well, we've reviewed several of the key episodes in season 1. We even had an opportunity to talk to Lori Lafine, who was the very first Charlene, which is Matlock's daughter in the show. And that was so nice and so pleasant to talk to her. But we have a new episode dropping tomorrow. And might I add, it might be the most controversial episode ever.
It might be. It's part of a weird trilogy that we've been watching in movie title episodes. But so yeah, anybody listening to us right now, you can even tell your grandmothers about this podcast because we just touched on something that they might enjoy.
That's right. And where can you get it? Well, you can get it over at Anchor FM. So anchor.fm/Matt Talk, or all the other major podcasting platforms have it. We even post episodes on the Facebook page, which is at Matt Talk Podcast. And Jason, do you want to let them know where they could email questions, concerns, or comments?
Absolutely. The email address is benmatttalk@gmail.com.
There you go.
My God.
You know
what's funny about Matlock, the Matlock podcast we did, is it started off as a goof on this podcast. Like, I never thought in a million years. Like, when John called me about it, he's just like, so, on the podcast the other day, somebody had mentioned maybe doing a Matlock podcast. What do you think? I'm like, I'm so in, John. If this means I get to collaborate with you on something, I am 100% into this.
I would be nervous to do a podcast with John because, like, I'm like woefully underprepared for everything.
I'm right here.
And he's always like got like 8 years of like research done. Like, he'll be like, "Oh, hold on, I need to go do some research," and like maybe 15 minutes will go by. And then he'll have like Dead Sea Scrolls of people.
Dude,
like
he's great. Like, he'll be like random facts. Like, did you know this episode was filmed in the back of a convenience store in Washington?
Interviewing.
And I'll be like, whoa.
Interviewing Kevin Sorbo, right? And he's like, so your parents are freaking math teachers or some craziness. Like, I don't even know how you find that out. I'm not like, but you know, like I feel like John is like some weird like half stalker kind of
We've discussed this. My other bedroom has the giant bat mainframe computer. I'm secretly Oracle. There you go.
Yeah, John, when we do the podcast, I almost feel like, I don't know if anybody's heard any true crime podcasts where like one guy knows everything and then the other guy is just sitting there. It's like he's learning. I learned so much from John every time we do a Matlock podcast.
I believe it.
Anyway, that's not why you're here. John, continue your list.
No, that's it. That was my list of John Saxon top 3. Enter the Dragon, the A-Team, Mitchell. Threw in the honorable mention of the Matlock episode. So that's it for that.
Everybody watching live, you guys can shoot us messages in the Facebooks. I'm watching them on both the 3 Geeks and the Redline.
Hey, but since we're talking about celebrities real quick, there's 2 other little bits of celebrity news. May I throw that out there?
Sure.
Today is Cress Williams' birthday, a.k.a. Jefferson Pierce from the CW's Black Lightning. His birthday is today. And did you see that Spencer Grammer, who of course is Kelsey Grammer's daughter, got stabbed, I think last night in New York City?
Doing what?
Go from happy birthday to
There's
a stair-step here.
Okay,
John.
but like, what's better?
Meds,
Is it
John,
better to go in the
Jesus.
opposite direction? Is it better to start with the stabbing and then move to happy birthday?
I don't know. Can we at least
I don't
have
know.
a pause? Like, hey, happy birthday! Oh, someone got stabbed.
Or or at least make him work. Happy birthday to Cress Williams, who is secretly working on the mystery of who stabbed.
Coincidentally, was not stabbed on his birthday, but guess
Yeah,
what?
God.
Who was?
What
We
the
got
hell,
both pieces of
dude?
news with a big smile on his face too. So.
I apologize that segue was a little awkward.
Let's put this. Is she alive at least?
Yeah, no, yeah,
Okay.
apparently.
Holy crap.
Wait, the lady
I was
that got
about to be
stabbed
like-
at the birthday?
No,
I zoned out to
Black
look at
Lightning.
Facebook.
Black Lightning got stabbed.
Okay.
That's misinformation. That is not correct.
It's not right.
Okay, so Kelsey Grammer's running around stabbing Black
Lightning.
Lightning.
Yes,
That's
that's
what
what's going
happened.
on.
Okay.
It's an epidemic.
Is this like the second season?
And by the way, happy birthday.
Frasier?
Happy birthday to Cress Spencer, whoever that is.
Someone jumped out of a cake and started
Hey,
singing.
you lay off Kelsey Grammer. I cannot wait to watch him in Money Plane. That movie
Frasier
looks-
2, Who Stabbed My Daughter?
Money Plane.
Oh God.
Money
Oh,
Plane looks absolutely horrific.
Is
I
it like
cannot
Soul
wait to
Train,
watch
but with
it.
money?
Huh?
Soul Plane, is it like Soul Plane but with money?
It stars WWE's Edge,
Oh, so
Kelsey
it is like
Grammer.
Soul Plane.
Wait,
Denise
wait,
Richards.
Edge is playing Kelsey Grammer.
No, it's a
No,
heist
the Edge
movie.
is playing Black Lightning. He
Oh.
stabs Kelsey Grammer.
Well, that's the whole
This-
plot. Thanks,
This
Max.
took a serious turn.
Spoilers. I'm sorry. Spoilers. I'm so sorry.
The Edge from U2 is actually in this
Oh.
movie. No,
Yes,
And Bono?
yes, and he stabs Kelsey Grammer's daughter.
because Bono said so.
Yeah,
There you go.
and Black Lightning was there, but he just wanted some cocaine.
Because it was his birthday.
This pivoted. This turned dark. Wait, happy birthday to Cress.
Cress Williams, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Love Black Lightning. You do a great job with the role.
Hey, Justin, is this why you disappear for like 4 weeks before you'll come back on? Because you just got to
I have to
Get ready
center
for the
myself.
next
That's an important thing.
Yeah.
I just got to recenter and make sure I can have a good
we
conversation.
overwhelm
with
you.
That's why I disappeared for like a year.
Oh.
Justin is another one who like is intimidating to do podcasts with because he likes to over prepare.
I use Google. I just have tabs up, and we just like click through. Like,
Hey man, I'm always impressed by you. So whatever it is, whatever little thing that you're doing, you keep doing it.
By the way, Spencer Grammer, she's fine. Apparently, she was in a restaurant. It was near closing time. A gentleman that was intoxicated came in, demanded
Black
food.
Lightning.
No, it wasn't Black Lightning. A gentleman requested food. They said, "No, we're closed, sir." He got belligerent, pulled out a knife. He stabbed a couple employees. I think he ended up stabbing her in the hand or in the arm. And she's fine. I didn't know she was a Rick and Morty voice actor.
That's cool.
So somebody really got stabbed. That sucks.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying about the stabbing. We
Yeah,
just,
no, that was
it was
totally
just lumped
real.
together with a happy birthday.
Max talked about Black Lightning.
It was-
Like I said, I literally looked down to check the Facebook comments, and then got back up. I heard stabbing. I got confused. I didn't know.
This is
what
why
was
we
happening.
separate them, John.
Yeah.
We say happy birthday, and then we say stabbing.
Okay.
Jason,
My bad.
I think you need to hire out to have someone just moderate the comments and stuff, because you need to pay attention here. Because if you're not careful, one of us will derail this show.
I've been told to let it go a little bit off the track, so that's what I'm trying to do a little bit more.
I mean, isn't that the game we play?
That is
Every time.
Absolutely. I told you who my radio influence is.
Such
so
is
I'm all
life.
for going totally down a sidetrack, going off to another station. It's fine. John,
Just as long as it's not the Train to Busan, that's all that we care about.
Cool.
Oh, I got to watch that again. I forgot to watch it last night.
Is it somebody's anniversary and also somebody was brutally shot? John, is there anything else?
And there were zombies. I don't know.
Every time John had good news, he also brought bad news. Like, hey, my treat has fruit. Oh, also a bunch of poison.
The
John
balance
believes in
must
the
be
balance.
kept.
It's the duality, the yin and the yang. I bring you the good news and the bad news.
Got to balance this out, right?
Right, exactly. You gotta have
To
that.
pull it
feng
all
shui.
back, I just want to say sincere rest in peace to John Saxon and Regis Philbin. We really went like we were afraid that we were gonna, with the 2-hour time frame, we just spent 25 minutes on a derailed conversation about 2 Hollywood icons passing away.
Getting stabbed by blacklight.
3, because we keep forgetting
Oh,
Olivia.
yeah.
Pavlin.
Sorry.
Poor
But I
lady.
feel like if somebody lives to 104, like that's
Yeah,
a
I guess you're right. Like, yeah.
I mean, I'm still sorry she's gone.
I am absolutely, but yeah, I know.
Can you imagine if there is a heaven? She's looking down, being like, "This is how I'm being memorialized by these assholes."
Maybe she's laughing. Maybe she has a sense of humor.
You
I
know?
stuck with it for this long. And now
It's like-
my whole legacy is erased because I made it to 104.
Regis, pull up a cloud, Regis. Wait till you see what they associate you with. Here, John, come on over. You won't believe what this John is talking about now.
This guy, John, loves Matlock. Do you remember being on that show, John? I do. What a complete idiot that guy is.
He's like, hey, Regis, somebody else likes that Justin Timberlake movie other than me. All right, so topics. We have topics for today's show. Let's get into one of them. I'm kind of upset that we don't have Scott here for this one, but let's talk about Star Trek Lower Decks.
Well, I mean, are we still hoping that he's going to show up?
I
Are we still holding our hope for that?
no.
I haven't seen a message from him yet or anything.
Scott might have been stabbed by
By Blacklight.
a DC superhero. I'm not sure.
We're looking into it.
We're looking
Scott,
into it.
or by a voice actor from Rick and Morty.
I did hear that Black Lightning is on a tear of stabbings recently. So.
It's his birthday. The only reason he's connected is his birthday.
The one day I take time out of my
Poor guy.
superpower in order to just go do something I really want to do, stabbing people.
Practice my stabbing.
I am going to
Radio
start
Network again.
with the least Star Trek-y fan I know, and that's Max. What did you think of Star Trek Lower Decks?
It looks fun. I'm a sucker for animation, so they got me on that. But yeah, it looks like a silly. It looks like the Orville, show, but animated. So hopefully better. Yeah, I was laughing at some things. So yeah, there's some funny stuff in there. I'll give it a watch.
Let's move over to John, who also I don't think is a
I'm
huge
not
Star
super
Trek guy. You laughed your ass off at the trailer.
I wouldn't
though.
exactly call it laughing my ass off.
Yeah, you did. You consistently laughed.
I laughed for sure, which I said.
I don't think
was
I laughed
not
once, but I
laughing my
found it.
ass off.
I didn't laugh, but I found it humorous.
Well, yeah, like you are like into Star Trek.
John.
I honestly I didn't watch the trailer, so I'm not gonna lie.
Mister, I do my homework. We finally.
I know. Well, I was busy writing a list of John Saxon.
That's why you were late, wasn't it?
Yes,
John's like,
I admitted to it.
And then he
I
found
admitted
out
to
about
it.
a couple of birthdays and assaults,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
he got sidetracked. So.
Exactly.
Then he had to
On the
run
other
away.
side of his car,
Like,
there's a lot more assaults that happen.
Oh
Like,
man,
a
it's
lot
my
more.
birthday tomorrow. I really hope I don't get stabbed.
Hey, I don't know. I mean, I'm all up for it because there was the Star Trek cartoon back in the '70s, so I'm all for
that was
a
good.
revamping of that, man.
This is on another level.
Bring it.
I'll go last. Justin, what did you think of the
Lower Decks, or did you not see it?
I have not seen it. Like John, I did not do my research on that, but
Man,
I heard it's
people that we were like praising
similar to Star Trek Upper Decker. I'm kind of into it.
Make it so.
It looks like the Enterprise.
Mr. Dan?
Gonna smash out the saucer section. All right. Sorry, Mike. The way that Star Trek is going now, it seems like they're making it uber serious all the time, and everything is a life or death situation and stuff. So yeah, taking a step back, making it a fun cartoon, like in the vein of the Orville, but hopefully funnier. I just hope they didn't show you all the laughs in the trailer and everything else just falls flat, which happens to a lot of new shows like that. But
does anybody still watch Orville? Any of you guys?
Did anyone watch Orville?
I watched the first
I didn't watch it to begin with. So.
I saw the first 5 episodes and then I dropped off.
I watched the first episode and the tone was all over the place. Like some parts, it was like Seth MacFarlane was really dialed into making a Star Trek show, and then when he would pull in his humor, it just went way to the right side of what it seemed like they were trying to do. I think if Seth MacFarlane made a Star Trek show, I think it would be great if he actually made a Star Trek show. But Mike,
I just watched a few seconds of the trailer. It looks good. It looks funny.
Of my 5-second review.
That's my 5-second review.
Go. It's got people and they're animated.
It's like American Dad, the Star Trek cartoon. So it should be all right.
Mike?
It's funny we brought up Rick and Morty a little bit earlier because this feels a little Rick and Morty-ish. Like, are we sure maybe some producer? They share some producers or something?
They do.
It's got some of the team behind Rick and
That
Morty.
makes sense. Okay. If it resonates with an audience, sure. They seem to be just throwing a whole lot at the wall right now. And yeah, from what I've gathered from watching Picard, I haven't watched any Discovery, but I watched all of Picard. But it's they want to go in an uber serious direction with the live action stuff. So why not, I don't know, space it out a little bit with some lighthearted comedy. I will agree with John, though, that I would have preferred something more in the style of the old Trek, but just so we could have kind of classic Star Trek animation a la C-Lab 21 or something.
2021.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed
I would have liked that, but yeah. It might be funny. I'm still not going to subscribe to All Access to watch it, so.
I am just waiting for my Star Trek fan cousin to see this because the rant will probably be epic. I mean,
can you record it?
I will try, Dan. I will try my damnedest to do that because I'm telling you right now, the use of the word fuck is probably going to be at least 36 in that rant. At least 36 plus or minus 12.
That's about how much it was in Picard.
It's edgy. Picard is edgy.
Oh yeah.
Discovery has it too. So I'm watching this trailer. I can already hear, like Max said, Scott might actually dig this trailer. And I think that if it didn't say Star Trek, Scott would be a lot more into it. But Star Trek's supposed to be somewhat serious, optimistic, fun. And I think that this is going to alienate a lot of the people that are Trekkies or Trekkers. I like everything Star Trek. I even like Picard, and I like Discovery for what it is. I like the JJ movies. The only thing I don't like with Star Trek is Star Trek V, the Final Frontier, because that movie is just Kirk beats God, the whole thing. But I thought this was funny. I was like, a lot of people are going to like this, and I know that Nickelodeon is also getting a Star Trek show, so they're definitely trying to push for the younger crowd to get into this. And I just don't know. They're probably going to alienate some fans. I know Gene Roddenberry's probably rolling over somewhere, but he's on that cloud right now. But
why?
I'm optimistic.
If he's in heaven, what does he care what they're doing to Star Trek now?
He just wishes he could stab somebody.
I hope people just enjoy.
I would go on a Black Lightning right now.
So, Jason, have you watched that YouTube show, Star Trek Continues?
I have not watched that particular one. I've watched a few of the fan-made films that have had George Takei.
Look, I'm not a huge Star Trek fan, but I do appreciate it. I mean, in the fact that they tried to do like a 4th season of the original, and they put a lot of effort into it. It's not haphazardly done. Unfortunately, it does have that cloud that the main writer, director, and the star is kind of, got some creepy allegations against him, but
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like you're about to praise this thing. We got to be able to balance it out. Such is the nature of John.
Hey, I can't help it. That dude is a little touchy-feely.
No, yeah, he's royally in the head. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also that dude's birthday, so you see.
Sorry, I just had a weird.
Let's not make it a thing for birthdays and stabbings.
We hadn't gotten to the stabbing part yet. Come on.
Did we just get Me Too'd?
No.
Is it like a thing if you die before you get Me Too'd now? Is that like some sort of achievement?
What?
It's like an Xbox achievement.
Step away from the landmine, Max. Step away from the landmine.
Nobody came out and said he was a rapist. Nobody.
Who?
Thankfully,
Regis Philbin.
What are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about, Max?
Max is just happy.
I just had a thought. I'm sorry. Like, I had a complete break of thought. But like nobody came out and said that Regis Philbin touched him inappropriately.
No, he was a saint.
Right. Like is that like does he get an award or something like that posthumously? Like,
I hope it's not the norm. I don't want that to be the norm. Max.
I would hope a lot of people. I would hope a lot of non-famous people, fit that norm a little bit more so than just be.
I will try to make this a little bit more PC of what Max was trying to say. He's just glad we just made it to the end.
Yeah.
Like he ended up being a good person. Like Mr. Rogers is still a good person.
Right.
We get to hold that with us.
He's actually just a good person.
Yeah,
cool.
His legacy.
I'm glad that that's how you wanted to phrase it.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere because we were talking about Star Trek. That's all.
That's how much I care about Star Trek.
Max was like, "Oh my God, Regis made it out of."
Yeah.
We're talking about it.
Like, what a good guy.
Rondell says you got an achievement, Max. Oh no,
Rondell, don't encourage him.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain Roddenberry was okay too.
All right.
Maybe.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Maybe.
Didn't Roddenberry have an affair with
But it was consensual.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he had an affair. That's different from.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying. I mean, he's not squeaky clean.
Welcome to Three Geeks TMZ podcast.
He wasn't a Puritan, John.
You're listening to Gossip Hour with Max.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This train got derailed pretty hard.
Star Trek. I checked out. I'm back. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I apologize.
Wow.
All right, let's just keep the controversy going. John, you wanted to talk about baseball teams, right?
Well, I just wanted to see. I mean, recently the Washington Redskins have stated that they're changing their name, and rightfully so. I mean, it's a derogatory, slur that shouldn't be used. Cleveland Indians a couple years ago got rid of Chief Wahoo, but there's been kind of a little bit of a controversy that they should change the team name. So I was just throwing it out as to, and I don't know. I really don't know. Is the word Indians, is that a derogatory term? I mean, I'm just asking. I'm just curious.
It is because
is it?
Native Americans were here, and like Christopher Columbus was trying to find India. That's the whole point of
the Indies. Yeah.
So we're totally
right.
Okay.
It's like
it's not a good term.
I don't think it's offensive so much as they're just like, well, you're an idiot.
Yeah, it's just inaccurate now.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
Like it's just really dumb for you to say it, because it's so blatantly wrong. So like I think a lot of people are not offended by it, but it's just like, but when you say it, it's just like you saying the dumbest possible thing you could say.
Okay. All right.
I imagine Native Americans are offended by it, but we don't.
Well, there are some, like there's some, but I'm saying like it's not like to a lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot. I mean, what I've heard from interviews and stuff like that I've seen on TV is that, I mean, yeah, of course, like anything could be offensive to any, like, but mostly it's just stupid. Like, why would you want the dumb name on your stadium?
Yeah. And even if the name was right, I mean, isn't it kind of weird to name a team after an ethnic group or something like that?
Essentially,
it's like the St. Paul Italians. And then you go there, it's like, but I'm not Italian, but I'm playing on I don't know.
The Washington White Boys.
Yeah.
Pretty much what they chose. The football team.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Crackers.
There you go.
Look, I'm still all for Washington to name the football team.
Three
The Washington,
saltines.
I want them to call them either the Washington Lobbyists or
There you go.
or the Washington Power Brokers. I think either one of those would be.
I saw a meme that I really hope they take the Washington Possums because they play dead at home and they get killed on the road.
Yeah.
How about the
I think
DC
that'll work.
capitalists?
The DC Capitalists.
Capitalism. Yes.
They just have stacks of money on their helmets.
Oh, dude,
That's
their logo's
It's
gonna
a
be the
dollar
Monopoly
bill.
guy.
Yeah, there you go. Who does not have a monocle?
What if that's their visor? You just have like one like black monocle on the visor.
Nice.
Well, then they'll get confused for Mr. Planners all the time. So
That's true.
Yeah.
The
Wait,
Washington
he's
Peanuts.
dead. Oh no,
no,
wait,
he got
he's not
he got
dead.
reborn as Baby Yoda Planners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's okay.
Oh, Wesley Snipes. That I like Wesley Snipes, but him being in that commercial disappointed me.
They can get
Wesley Snipes needs the money, okay?
Yeah.
The IRS took all of his. Yeah.
Yep,
He took
sure
all
did.
the
Uncle
money.
Sam's gonna snap
After
that money.
after he evaded.
Hey, they've been talking
He
about doing
stiff armed the
Major
IRS
League.
for a while. Yeah.
They can get that Major League sequel now. I bet Charlie Sheen and Wesley Snipes are pretty cheap.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
Charlie Sheen.
That's what the Major League sequel can be about. Is about like, okay, guess what? Last time you guys were on this team, we've been through some changes.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
That's it. Yeah.
What if they're just old players that are coming out of retirement because the IRS took all their money?
Yeah, like they got a
Guess
coach,
what? I pivoted.
they got a
I'm gonna come
coach or
back.
something now.
One
and
last
They're in the
paycheck.
minor leagues.
They're complaining because the team name changed. No, they're not going to be the team. They're going to be the ones picketing.
I mean, they were Indians. It's like they're Cleveland Indians was the team that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
Welcome to the joke, Max.
Yes.
They could a league of their own. It like the young sports players go on strike, so they bring in the older guys to take the field and still have baseball.
Yeah, replacements with baseball.
Yeah, and then they can get them all back. I mean, the All-State guy still looks like he
Get
could
Gene
play.
Hackman.
Bring in
Hey,
Keanu Reeves.
pitch this to Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm on
This
it.
is like the Expendables of baseball team movies. Get Lori Petty in there for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, get
There you go.
Gina
Rosie
Davis
O'Donnell.
back.
Yeah,
Freaking,
Tom Hanks is the manager.
get Quantum Leap from Unnecessary Roughness.
Unfortunately, I don't think we could get Tom Hanks.
Hey, but nothing would make that remake any better than as if you just pull in Kenny Powers. There you go.
Oh, that'd be perfect. The manager. That'd be perfect.
He'd be perfect as the manager.
I'm down for that. I'm even eastbound and down for that.
Oh!
What were we talking about before we went off on a major
Who
baseball tangent?
cares?
I don't
It
know.
was
Well, no, we
it
weren't
was about
talking
the
about
name
baseball.
change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We were
The name
talking about
change.
changing the name of the Cleveland Indians, and just I was wondering what people's opinions were on it, and then
It's
go
a
from
relatively
there.
parallel canon.
I don't care if they change the name of anything. Like I don't care. I like they're talking about changing the name of our fair city, Columbus, Ohio. I'm down. I want to change the name to Flavortown. I would 100% love to be like, I'm from Flavortown, USA, and I'm down for that. But you know, like if you don't
The
want to
logo be like the salt guy. Like just the.
no, our logo would be Guy Fieri, dude.
Well, I get that, but I think it'd be.
No, like, it would just be his beautiful, screaming, freaking frosted tips coming at you.
We could become a tourist town. Who
You
wouldn't
know-
want to visit Flavor
Right.
Town?
Yeah.
All
Until
the
people start
restaurants
confusing
Flavortown.
it, until people start going, hey, let's go visit that town in Ohio that's named after Flavor Flav.
I'm
There's
down
just
for that.
clocks everywhere. Just
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's mountains of clocks. Everyone's
Oh man, there should be like a whole street
Giant
that's
ones
just
inside
clock
of buildings.
You get off the airplane in Columbus and there's a clock store with
Yeah, oh, yeah.
necklace and everything.
giant clocks. It's like, no, it's just not for the
No.
wall. What are you, stupid?
It's like when you go to Hawaii and you get Lays.
Yeah.
Except here you get clocks.
And when the plane lands and you're deboarding, you go into the airport and they start making announcements for your flights. Every announcement starts with, yeah, boy! Yeah,
I'm down.
Flight 329 to San Diego has been delayed. You know, that's.
No, like if you go to like Little Flav, like that part of town, it's like the Chinatown part of Flavor Town.
Welcome to Flavor Town.
Flavor Flav, and yeah, no, it's like clock stores and cocaine.
There's Bridget Nielsenville.
And closed chicken shops.
Yes.
That's what, Mike. That's what they'll rename Nelsonville. It'll be
Bridget Nielsenville.
Nielsenville.
I'm down. Yeah, you know, but who cares? You know, like, and people are like, oh, we're losing a bit of history, but it's like when you actually look at that history, it's not that great. You know, like it's not. When you look at like what Christopher Columbus did, he's not that great of a dude. So why does it matter that we change the name of the city? You know, like, or you know, like all these forts that Trump is having a problem renaming.
Well,
it's like,
I mean, it goes back to a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago, Max, where it was like, remember it certainly for the educational portion of it, but don't forget the context of it. Like, we don't need a venerated like celebration of anything Columbus ever did. Like, we just can be like, yep, he came over and did some genocidal things.
I hate to tell you that we're stuck with the name of the city, because if you actually do a little bit of research, to change the name of the town would cost like hundreds of trillions of dollars, because there's so many like copyright, trademark, all these different types of agreements that, you know, we could have changed the name 100 years ago, it would have been fine, but we didn't do it. And now it's going to be damn near impossible to change.
Okay. For the bookkeeping purposes, sure, keep the name, but everyone who lives there knows the real name and will easily spread it. Yeah.
Okay.
You all just have to agree on it, though, so that way we don't get cross-wired. And
we just hire people to scratch it out of maps and just replace it with Flavor.
Yeah, there you go.
What if we don't change the name? We just add AKA Flavor Town.
There you go.
Ooh. We always know you're a tourist. You're the only one using the book name of it.
There you go. Yeah, and that way you can figure out who's just visiting and who's here to stay. Sure.
So we've had a really rough 2020, and you know, so much negative stuff has happened. But something that is positive that's happening is Bill and Ted are gracing our presence once again. And whether this movie is great or horrible, all I can say is, what better time to bring Bill and Ted back? Like, we could use that kind of dumb humor, I think, right about now in our world. And let's talk about the trailer. I'm mixed on the trailer. There's some parts that I thought were cool. I think Keanu Reeves looks he looks weird as Ted again. Like, his face.
Because he doesn't have a beard.
There you go. Maybe that's it.
But it's also, it's like, I don't know that he can get himself back into Ted. Like, he's done so much John Wick stuff. Like,
yeah,
he can't even move like Ted anymore. You know, he's like, he just wants to take out everybody in the room.
Well, also, yeah,
and he's had so much dark stuff happen in his life too, right? I don't know when he filmed Bill and Ted originally, right? But he had like the girlfriend thing that died, and he had a whole lot of negative stuff happen in his life. I mean, it's probably hard to get to that level of this like dumb happiness that had Bill and Ted 1 and 2.
I mean, he's not
life happen. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. He's not about doing comedy, obviously. Like, and also like he's done some lighter stuff. Like I think he's in the SpongeBob movie that's coming out or something. And he was the voice of the cat in a dream sequence in a Keanu, which makes sense. But I think what you're saying is true. Is that like he's too old for this shit. But I mean I think that's part of the angle of the movie too. Is going to be like these guys are too old for this shit.
I feel like Alex Winter is still he's pulling the role off just fine. It's just something about Ted that just is slightly off, but they both look like they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So with me saying that, it looks like they're both really excited to be back in this world. William Sadler's back, which I'm really excited as Death.
Yeah. It's just gonna be. It sucks that freaking George Carlin is gone. You know, like you definitely
he was so good.
Rufus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like that's the only thing where I'm just like, man, I really wish this would have come together just a little bit sooner, you know, like that would have been really cool. But you know, I mean, like, yeah, it looks like a fun, like, and if you like Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, like, I think you're gonna dig this because you know what Bill and Ted are about. So if you can stomach that, I don't see how this is much different. I'm
gonna call the twist right now though. Is gonna be because they say it in the trailer pretty emphatically. It's like Preston and Logan have to create a song. It's like it's the kids. The kids write the song.
Yeah,
it's like
when they decide to go back in time and pull out musicians and stuff. I'm like, yeah, this is the route we're going, but that's fine. I like Future Bill and Ted in the prison, all like
super jacked, like muscles. Bill and Ted. I
can't wait.
You know what that reminds me of? Freaking Double Dragon, the movie.
Okay.
Oh man, Double Dragon.
The big dude. Yeah.
That's what the freaking Bill reminds me of. I can't get that out of my head.
He does. I haven't seen the movie in forever, but I'm picturing the game version of it.
I just picture the car running on trash when they have to go real fast. They just throw like all their garbage in the center content.
Shout out to Dave, the guy who gave us this opportunity, is watching us right now. So thanks a lot. And what's up, man? Redline Radio.
Who wants to text Scott back and say, "Hey, were you stabbed?"
He said he wasn't feeling well. He could have been stabbed.
Yeah.
Right. That's
I
why
wouldn't feel well.
Has anyone heard any reports of black lightning in the area?
It was his birthday, Max.
Well, better that just you have random DC superheroes stabbing people than having to watch The Birds, right, Jason?
Oh man,
God. Max and I watched this one together, and
The Birds, like, so it's like, oh, Hitchcock, he's such a great director. The Birds. I think the problem with The Birds is
it's 2020.
The CG is terrible. And everyone's doing such a crap job, like reacting to things that aren't there that they put in later. And then it's like, okay, I can see how if this is the first time you were seeing something like this, it would blow your mind, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, that was so scary! Like it looked so real when all those birds attacked." But like, I can't even stand people driving in old movies where they're just doing that thing where like they're like this, and they always do this, and I'm like, when have you ever driven like this? I mean, like I've driven cars in the '70s. It's not that much play in the freaking steering wheel.
Max, I'm curious because I don't know. Now here's where everything's going over my head a little. Are you being serious? Or are you joking and talking about Birdemic?
No, The Birds, the original.
The CGI in The Birds, huh?
Well, not the CGI, but like
that's some great CGI.
That's a great CGI in 1960, whatever.
No, but like it's obviously not CGI. But you know what I'm saying? Because there weren't real birds there. Obviously, like.
I will say, as a child, that scared the crap out of me.
Huh?
As a child, this movie scared the crap out of me.
I mean,
I was scared of birds for like a week. I was just like running home. Like, no.
But I'm like, if you're a kid, or this is the first time you're seeing something like this, and there's never been any better like blending of the not real things to the real things, it was just really hard to watch. The movie is so incredibly slow, and. Yeah, like I wish this wasn't the very first Hitchcock movie I'd ever watched, but it is, and it was not. I don't think it's his best work.
I've watched Psycho.
I think Birdemic is more your speed.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too.
I've watched Sharknado. I've seen Psycho, Rear Window, and The Rope, which I really, really liked, and Strangers on a Train. I really, really liked those movies, and I didn't see what the hype was in this movie. I agree with Max. I was so bored.
I've never seen The Birds. I've seen a lot of Hitchcock. I like Hitchcock. I never saw The Birds.
They obviously wanted those two little birds. Just let those two little birds go.
Like, oh my goodness. And then, the stupid lovebirds. And they don't explain what happened at all. Like,
one of the Jason and I had this conversation. One of my favorite Hitchcocks is one that's really kind of not well known. It's called I Confess. Yeah. I think it's from 1957. I think Montgomery Clift is the star, and it's about it's a real simple, but it works so well. He's a Catholic priest. He knows of a murder. He knows who did it. He's not allowed to say because that whole confidentiality thing, and how the police try to work the case. It's really well done. It's really, really good. I liked it a lot. It's one of my favorites.
Shout out to Aaron and George who are watching us. Thanks a lot, guys. And Rondell writes, George Carlin reached Xbox Me Too achievement. Thanks, Rondell. It's like you're here. The silent assassin who just, quietly gets in a little comment and then goes back to being quiet.
I miss Rondell.
it's always the best, like when you get an Xbox achievement because like you didn't know it was coming, and then it's just like, you know, you've got. So like, does that happen like in life, like or like, does it happen at the funeral? You know, it's like, you made it without getting me to.
We're back at that.
Well, no, it's Rondell. Rondell made the comment.
Rondell brought it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My bad.
Okay, The Birds.
The Birds.
Have at it, Dan.
The Birds definitely got me
Okay,
too.
first of all, this is way before you had most of your. I mean, you had your 1950s like them and shit like that, but you didn't have Jaws or those yet. So you've got The Birds. Also, Hitchcock is telling you the story about this dude who's like a mama's boy, that like his mom always wrecks all of his girlfriend things and
Relationships?
just breaks it. Yes, relationships, girlfriend things. That's what I'm calling them now. But,
it's 2020. You can't call him that.
oh shit, you're right. Damn it, I lost my achievement.
Dan was just me too. Dan, we gotta let you go.
I'm ahead in the gamer score now. Yeah.
Oh, damn it, Mike. Okay. Plus, I mean, it's more of a drama than a, it's more of what like today's Godzilla movies want to be, because it's got people parts that not literal people parts, but like
Characters.
Yeah, character development. We're looking for the word character development.
Yeah. Well, no, because Godzilla doesn't really have character development, but it tries to.
Right.
Now, yeah, like The Birds, I think hit a lot better than you guys. It's like the conversation that we had the other night, Max. Like, yeah, when you don't see things the first time around, you have the fun of seeing them, through, or like I have the plus of seeing movies that I've seen through you, because you haven't seen them before. But when it gets too long, like like The Birds turns into Birdemic.
Yeah, it's.
And I hate to say that, because I love The Birds. I love Hitchcock. My favorite's The Lodger, but
I absolutely agree. It's just that I watched it 80 years after it was made.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and like I said, if this is the first time you've seen them try something like what they were doing, to make the bird attacks look real, then yeah, you'd be afraid, and you'd be like, oh my god, like whatever. But since I've seen, I've seen a movie in 2010. Like you can't go back and watch this movie and be like, oh,
I get what you're saying.
For its parts when it came out, and I'm just not a huge fan of this one.
I appreciate the craft of it, certainly, because it is Hitchcock still. So he's in top form in terms of like setting up scenes, being able to construct like really kind of good visuals, for the technology that he had at the time, obviously.
Making farmers with no eyes.
Yeah, that still stays with me. When I think of The Birds, I do remember that specifically, like the dude with just his eyes pecked out. But like,
you missed the whole scene where he got there. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just show you the smoking gun.
That's the reveal.
I showed you the gun, and I've showed that it was used, but you never actually saw either of those things.
You don't see what brought Mrs. Bates down into the basement, but that's still a shocking image when you see Mrs. Bates actually revealed. So
I think what's strong about Psycho is it doesn't rely on special effects, and same with some of his other stuff. But I think that if I had seen this one first, and maybe not had it as hyped as I've had it over the years, then I probably would have enjoyed it more. But like,
it's not one of his greatest, but I still think it's good. It's like,
I mean, like I'm not like crapping on Hitchcock. Like I won't ever watch another Hitchcock movie again.
That's what you said after we watched The Birds. Max is like, Hitchcock sucks. And like went outside.
He texted me too. Said Hitchcock is overrated.
That, but like that was when it was still raw. Okay, like. My eyes had just been pecked out by birds, but
no, you should check out Rear Window.
Yeah, no, Rear Window is what I want to watch. Like,
it's really good.
You haven't seen Rear Window yet.
Like that one's been spoofed a few times, so I'm just hoping like that's like one of the better versions of that story. But yeah, it's that's something I'm interested to see. And the one you were just talking about, John, the earlier one that
I Confess.
Yes,
that was really really good.
Good to me. I like it. I like a story that's like, okay, like religion is supposed to be the moral thing and yada yada, and he's got this conundrum like, how do I stay true to my religion and also do the right thing, because those two ideals are in conflict right now. That's really really interesting to me.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. I didn't know too much about it when I went to go see it, and I went and saw it, and I was like, wow, because I saw it at the summer movie series down at Kappa, and it was really really, it blew me away. And I also like Strangers on a Train. Yeah. Vertigo for me, I don't mind Vertigo. I don't think it's as strong as some of his other work too. I mean, I'm not crapping on it. It's still a good film, but if given the choice, like John, let's watch one of the big name ones, I'm going Rear Window every time.
When I was a kid, I watched High Anxiety before I'd seen any Hitchcock movies. And now I'm trying to watch the Hitchcock so I can go back, because I remember that movie being so funny, and now maybe having some of the movie references, it might make it a little bit better too. So
yeah, watch Strangers on a Train, and then watch Throw Mama Off the Train.
That's what I was telling John. I've seen both movies, just not back to back. That'd be a great double feature.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's so good.
Oh, dude, yeah. Billy Crystal in the 80s and early 90s.
We don't have a Cousin Patty.
And Ramsey.
But no, sorry.
No, go ahead, Dan.
The Birds, I mean, I can still watch it. I would say it's a good, like, Sunday afternoon flick. Like, you don't have anything going on. You just pop it in, sit there, make yourself a leisurely breakfast or something. I don't know.
And he was trying something definitely different there, because everything is more like you were talking about, Max, like how nothing's really explained. It's like he wasn't really interested in that part of it. He wasn't interested in explaining why this occurrence in nature is happening. It was more like, here's how people probably would react to this random occurrence in nature.
Holy occurrence!
I mean, like, I don't normally cry about, like, because, like, I'm not the dude who was mad at Inception, I'm not that guy. But I don't know why I felt this movie needed something else. Like, you need just a little more closure than they give you.
That's why, Max, I'm recommending Birdemic for you, because they do explain why the birds are acting the way they are.
But I don't want to go through another Birds movie to find out.
Oh, Max, I think you'll like Birdemic.
Oh, yeah.
It's you've really never seen it, Max? Birdemic is fantastic.
It's miles better than the Birds.
Being played on me right now.
No, not at all.
Seriously.
Legit. It's legit good. It'll change your life, Max.
Yeah, okay. No, I'll definitely 100% check out Birdemic then. At you guys' fucking recommendation.
I think it's on Tubi. So you don't even have to pay for it. It's on Tubi, I think.
It's on Prime.
On Tubi.
Yeah, what Max doesn't know is Liz and I are making him watch The Birds 2 tonight.
Nah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I think it's The Birds TOO.
I'm bigger than both of them. Like,
I was like, wait a minute, yeah.
So I have a quick movie or two movies I'd like to just discuss, because I know Jason, you and I talked about it, but I really liked it so much I want to throw it out there. I read about this film on one of those, like, Collider or one of those news sources that stated this is the best movie that has hit Netflix in July, and it was The Night Comes for Us. So it's The Raid on steroids.
Huh.
So I know how much we all like The Raid. It's really good. In fact, it stars the guy from The Raid. Is it Iko
Kuis or something?
Or something. He's in it.
Or something. Yeah.
And the other guy from The Raid, the dude the Joe Isami or Izami or whatever. He's got the black mustache. He has the black hair. He's
the stringy guy.
The one who can fly.
The scrapper.
Yes. No, he's not the long-haired dude, but he's got black hair.
Oh, okay.
His name was Jaka, I think, in the film, in The Raid.
Oh, okay. No, he's a cop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the cop.
Yeah.
He plays the good guy. The other dude plays the bad guy, and it's bonkers. It is just the violence and the blood and gore is, like, turned up by like 25% in this movie, and it's
The
really well
violence
done.
is turned up from the raid.
That's right, it's turned up. So
okay, I didn't know that was possible, but awesome. I'm definitely gonna watch it.
it's on Netflix.
to
You gotta
11.
watch it. It's great. I
mean,
really enjoyed it.
In my mind, it goes from like the raid to like Dead Alive. So maybe
man, we might have to do a Shaolin Sofa on this movie. I feel a Shaolin Sofa.
Oh boy.
Okay.
If we're talking about martial arts movies that have had like a profound impact on us,
Riccio.
Yeah, well, in the shade of Riccio, I watched Versus for the first time ever.
Yeah.
Holy God. That is an amazing experience there, and I recommend it to you all.
Where did you? Is it on Prime?
It's on YouTube. Like, I found a version on YouTube.
Really?
Both the original cut and the ultimate cut with 10 added minutes of
Because I've never seen this, so I may have to watch this.
Yeah, what is
Buddy,
this?
It's called Versus. It's from the year 2000. Dan
Who's in
knows
it?
him.
What's it about?
A bunch of guys you don't know.
A bunch of guys whose names I would totally mess up if I tried to pronounce them.
So. Okay. I'm going to check that out.
But yeah, it's basically, it's been a while since I watched it, but it's all these different factions end up in this like forest of resurrection, and they keep fighting each other, and there's zombies, and it's all
past life. There's reincarnation plays into it. The lead dude, his performance is amazing because he's perpetually in resting bitch face mode.
Yeah, well, he also broke a tooth when he was cocking one at one of the guns.
So that's probably why he's
he's probably not very happy.
The Joker is in it, or at least Asian Joker is in it.
Asian Joker.
I'm gonna watch this maybe tonight. This maybe have to be my Sunday night viewing. Versus.
So like Mexican Joker.
And I couldn't believe, and I don't know if this is a plus or a minus, but I couldn't believe how much I blurted out loud in laughter. Stop hitting her.
I hope it was a minus.
No. It's like done to comedic because like he's not to spoil anything, but he's tagging along. This girl is brought into the plot, and she's called the girl, and he has to like rescue her or keep her safe, but he doesn't want her getting involved in fights, and so every time he has to get into a fight, he always like just lightning fast like conks her out. I'm like, stop doing that.
Got brain damage by the end.
I got the hit after the first one.
Oh man, I watched the dub of it too. The dub is hilarious.
Dude, don't.
Oh man, what? I watched both the Ultimate and the original with the dub. I enjoyed both, but the dub was cracking my shit up like nothing else. Like, I like this movie probably for the different reasons that Dan likes this movie. I like this movie because it's kind of glorious with how whoa this is.
Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous, but it's super fun. Speaking of bad dubs, though, sorry.
No, go ahead, Dan.
There was a movie made in the 90s, and it was Korean, and it was in a high school. I forget the name of it, but MTV bought the rights for it and gave it its own dub, and it was gloriously awful. If anybody finds it, please tell me.
So everybody Google MTV Korean high school movie.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, like they had like big name, rappers and some artists like
One Time. Please tell me One Time's in it. If they're in it, I'm watching this.
Hold on.
Mike's the only one that got that joke.
Okay. I dig. I was just waiting to be like, all of a sudden you hear Ice-T in there.
Hey, I also watched a docu-series on Netflix last night called Fear City. It's all about like New York City versus the mob, and I appreciated it because it's 3 episodes. First 2 are like 45 minutes, and then the third and final one's an hour, so you can easily just kind of blow right through them. But it's interesting, like the whole scenario of how they set up to take down the 5 families, and Giuliani's commission, and the wiretapping and all that. And I liked it. I found it interesting because I didn't know, like I only know because of what's happened in the press, the Gambino crime family. Like that to me,
Yeah.
that's the only one I knew about. I'm like, oh, because it's John Gotti and it's Castellano, but I don't know the other families, and they kind of give you a little history of the other families and that. It was interesting. I'd say it's worth a watch if you wanted to check out some true crime stuff.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, did you ever watch that? Sorry, Dan, but did you ever watch the McDonald's thing where they busted the Monopoly game? That was on Hulu, and they have like this whole like where the mafia was behind like scamming people, and like after the past 10 years or whatever the Monopoly game, it was all a scam. Like people were any of the big dollar items were getting sold by the mafia to people. Like, it's a really good watch. Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Dan?
Yeah.
Volcano High?
Yeah. Justin already got it.
I put it in the chat. Look at the chat.
Now, the Fear City one, the guy that they call the Black Bag Man,
Yeah,
is a badass.
he is. You've watched it, Dan?
Yeah,
He was a
he's a-
badass dude. He had to have nerves of steel,
dude.
man.
Like he's the guy that they send in to bug up when like there's never, any gaps of people being there. So he'll be the phone repairman or something. And he just wanders into the mob house and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bug your shit, doo-doo-doo. And it's just, that's impressive as hell.
The one thing I was thinking, Dan, the whole time is when he's fixing the phone, I'm like, what happens if the phone doesn't work?
Yeah.
Like no mobster thinks to go, hey, you didn't fix the phone. Like they just okay,
Or the guys off site need to fix the stuff.
Yeah, like at least
doing it. So
at least the one that they showed with the cable TV, at least they had it kind of set up where like, you know what I mean? Like when he would fiddle with it, the other guy outside would hit the switch to kind of make it look stupid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. That dude had nerves of steel and he was a badass.
That's some crazy shit, man. Also, there's some pretty graphic pictures in there too.
Well, yeah, that one of the dude that they what's his name? The guy that they shot at the restaurant with his eyeball hanging out.
Yeah. They're just like
and then a cigar in his mouth. Yeah.
Picture of that shit.
Exactly.
Black Lightning was here, carved into the bar.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me.
Cool movie, by the way, the classic one at least.
All right, Mike, you had a topic to bring to the table today?
Yeah, sure. We've kind of been dancing around it a little bit just with our regular talk here, but I wanted to talk to the group a little bit about
We all need help.
how much important it is for you to check up on your mental health from time to time, everybody. But no, like since we're kind of a geeks podcast in a way, and we're all fans of different things, or we appreciate different things in pop culture, or with media, whether it's comics or movies or TV shows or what have you. When is there the difference between like being a fan of something and then realizing you're entrenched in actual fandom, or you're a fanboy, quote unquote? And do you ever work your way out of that to just be like, kind of like, I just enjoy stuff. I don't have to be die-hard dedicated to it to an extent. And has anyone had kind of a self-actualization moment like that? When did that occur for you? Or are you in the process of kind of working that out for yourself? I don't know why I thought of that. I just kind of did when, I was looking at some different articles about things, and I know there's a lot of like cons and conventions that are taking place on, online, on Zoom and stuff like that. And just part of me is like, I don't have the patience or the dedication to want to sit in on any of those, which is weird because whenever there's a convention, we'll go over our way to go see someone at a panel, but I'm just like, I don't know. Even though it's for stuff that I'm interested in, I just don't feel that enthused or dedicated to want to go sit in on it, or, to rave about the latest announcement for Marvel movies or all those Avatar sequels that I'm sure will be made or something like that.
Oh, they're getting made.
Oh, they're getting made.
Oh yeah.
I'm one of those people that when I'm watching a show, I get really into it. Like when I was watching Lost, I would listen to podcasts. I would talk to people. I would respond to debate. Like I was in that show, like really into it. But as soon as the show was over, I was able to step. I'm still a huge fan of the show, but I'm not like obsessed.
The Breaking Bad companion podcast is
Breaking Bad. I listened to the podcast.
It's worth it.
Yeah, like watching Community. I've been watching Community lately, which is a good show. And I'm like, I really want to go to community college and get a zany group of friends and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, community college is just like that.
That's what I thought. Claymation episodes.
No, I went to community college. It's true. It's exactly like that.
Fantastic. Chevy Chase is there being all grumpy. And
yeah,
racist.
and Ken Jeong is running around, greasing himself up and going through the air ducts and stuff, and it's all true.
Fantastic. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, I go overboard sometimes with shows. Like when I first watched Twin Peaks, I was way more into it than probably I should have been. And but once I'm out of it, then once the show's done, I pretty much pull myself out of it. But I still do geek out over Marvel announcements.
I think Star Wars is what's done it for me. Like I've moved out of fanboy and just into fan. I read all the expanded universe books. I read a bunch of the comics. I watched all the movies like over and over and over again. And I think maybe after the prequels was where I was like, maybe I don't need to spend all my time doing this. But then especially after these movies where I enjoy some things and other things that I just wasn't really a fan of, and I was like, well, before if this was me when Phantom Menace came out, I'd be pulling my hair out right now. But now I'm just like, okay, well, I can appreciate some things and they didn't do some of the things so well. Let's move on from here. We all had a time and then now we're doing something else. But the Mandalorian, I'm full on geeked out over. I've bought Baby Yoda products. I'm fully immersed in that. So on the one hand, yeah, it's you see it. I see where I was and where I am now, and it's different. And but there's still some things that bring it out of me. So there's a joy to being a fanboy, to just being like, oh my God, it's all cool. I want to know everything, and then I think I burned myself out on stuff too. Is the other thing is where you want to just soak up all of the stuff involved, and then you're like, oh wait a minute, now I just can't make myself care, because you're just too into it. So yeah, I think Star Wars is kind of what's brought my fandom up and down, and where I can kind of look at the meta of how I treat things and see. Just when you're too involved or when you're just having a good time or something.
The last thing I remember getting super I want to know everything about was Batman v Superman. I think that was the last one for me.
Letdown.
I'm the most optimistic person on this podcast. If you tell me that Snyder Cut Justice League is coming out, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt.
Oh yeah, did that come out yet?
No, it's next year.
Okay.
I saw the black suit Superman. I thought it was awesome, but I have more realistic expectations now going into these things. I'm not going into Justice League Snyder Cut super excited, but I'm also not going to go into it and be like, this is the worst thing ever. I want to go into it, and then whatever the movie delivers, I'll walk out of. But with Batman v Superman, we got to the theater 12 hours early. We were excited. We were just like young kids again, ready to go, get this candy, watch this movie. Batman and Superman are in the same film. Whoa! Man of Steel I thought was great, so I'm running to the finish line like, yay! I thought Watchmen was great too, so I'm like, yay! Zack Snyder, Batman v Superman, Ben Affleck. I was totally sold, and then I'm watching this movie, and the first time I watched it, the thing that offended me the most, the Martha moment, didn't really strike me until my second viewing, but Jesse Eisenberg just really got under my skin in that movie. And I thought he was so bad. And I'm a huge Superman fan. I watched Smallville for 10 seasons. So if that tells you my dedication, it's there.
I dragged my mom to that. I was like,
I was there with Max's mom.
It's going to be so good. I'm going to bring my mom to this movie, just so she can see it. And it's going to be fun. We're going to have a great time. And then, we're walking into the movie, and I'm like, I don't think I like that movie. She's like, I don't think I liked it either. I was like, even my mom was like, this movie is crap.
Oh, yeah. His mom was pissed.
She's a Jean-Claude Van Damme fan. Okay, it's not hard to
So just put on Street Fighter and call it a day.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. But it was just such a letdown. It was so bad. Oh my goodness!
But I guess that's kind of also at the point I want to discuss a little bit too. Is at what point do we kind of just settle back and say, oh, I can just take the piss out of this. Like, who cares? Like, this is all nonsense anyway. And, like, not get, like, hyperbolic rage or whatever over it.
It's that feeling, I think, that Dan, you and I had when we were watching Warcraft.
Oh, God.
The movie. We got to see the movie for free. So, like, there was no like, anger other than the time that we were wasting, but we were having a good time.
Yeah.
Like, shitting on this movie in the theater out loud, and like nobody around us even got upset. Like, it was. Dude,
the studio reps next to me left like 15 minutes into it.
It may have been 20 minutes. Like, it was just such a shit show. But it was again, like, we were with that movie, like, you're able to just sit outside of it and be like, wow.
I mean, I have no ties to the world of Warcraft. Like, I don't play the games. Like, I played Warcraft 2. but so I just didn't care. Like, you go in there and you're like, oh yeah, orc guy stuff and whatever.
I loved the Warcraft games, the RTS stuff. I never got into the MMO because I knew it would take over my life. I
played them all.
Consciously made that switch to not do that.
We've lost a few friends to the world of Warcraft. It's brutal.
Our friend used to play 10 hours a day. He'd work for 8 hours, and then he'd sleep the rest. And that's all he did. That's it. World of Warcraft, sleep, and work. George has a comment on this subject. He says, Mike, that's the way I felt about sports cards. Takes a long time to have to research pricing and the arguing with collectors on what something is worth top dollar, but to tell them that they will never see that top dollar. Most dealers will sell at half or 3/4 cost to make any serious money on them. It is enough to get the Advil and go back to bed. That's why I love turning my attention to sports news and fantasy sports. It's so much easier to argue and discuss things.
Mm-hmm.
LOL.
Fair enough.
Sports cards. Yeah, I never got heavy into sports cards, but those Marvel cards. Oh yeah. I mean, like, you got to get the 9 that make the different photo, the different picture out of all the different ones together, and then you got the foil freaking. Oh, it was just disgusting. And then like a year later, you try to sell them, and then they're like, you could burn these, but like the actual effort of burning them is gonna make you lose money on these cards. Like,
well, I used to work at GameStop, and I used to have to do that to people when they bring in their PS2 games. I was like, yeah, I'll give you a penny for this, and you're gonna be really mad at me, or you can take these back home and give them to somebody, right? Mm-hmm. I had that conversation at least once a week with people. They bring in like all their games and be like, I'll offer you $5, and you're gonna get really mad at me. You should probably just take these home.
That's bullshit. Madden 2002 is worth a fortune.
Oh yeah, that was the best one. That was the best one.
No, 97 was.
I always felt bad because you put them back on the shelf and you mark them up by $10 every time GameStop did it. Like, we bought it for a penny, and then guess what? The markup's $10 or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, GameStop. They're a bunch of sharks. That was. I'm happy that they're not doing great. And it's like, but it's not just their crappy business practices, but it's like they're one of the companies that when COVID first hit, they were like, oh, we're doing extra stuff to make our stores clean, and yada, yada, yada. And it was the employees who got on Twitter and everything like, they're not doing shit. Like, these guys are a bunch of assholes, and they just want to make themselves look better because they're trying to make you come into the store so they can get out of this hole they've dug themselves into. But, like that's what I can't stand about GameStop. Like, obviously, there's shit buying practices. Like, everybody knows about that. Like, you can buy a brand new game, bring it back like in the packaging. They're gonna be like, $5 for that.
They try to stay open because they sold PC parts.
Yeah, no, they're essential. We're essential. We sell PC parts.
Fucking brilliant.
One stick of RAM does not make you a PC part.
Yeah, like they sell used cell phones. That's technically. Now they're a mobile store, right?
I could buy a camera and a freaking a SCSI cord. There you go.
Utter ridiculousness. Fuck everyone who works at GameStop in the
not the employee,
not the employees,
not the higher ups. All the upper guys who decided these are all good ideas. You guys can just go fuck yourselves. Like, that is just utter ridiculousness. Like it's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit. Highway robbery, and they've been getting away with it for years. And like, we all make the joke, but like, there was nowhere else to go for the longest time. So you still ended up having to pay GameStop their money. But now I'm just glad to see they're doing crappier and crappier.
Your rant has made me think. I wonder how angry Max is going to be when he's 74. I know you're not going to hit 75, but I'm just curious how old Max is gonna be.
Dude, I've been waiting to be old enough for it to be acceptable for me to just sit out on my front porch and spray people with my hose when they come too close to my lawn. Like I am just waiting for the day. I think it's like 68 where you're allowed. They're just like, you know what? Just leave them alone.
One more usually on a calendar, just marking it down. One more day closer.
Not only that, but you have to create a group that has coffee every morning at McDonald's too. So Max, that's got to happen as well.
I mean, hey, if you guys
I
are
go to Dunkin' Donuts for my coffee. Thank you.
I would love to drink McDonald's coffee with you and then spray people off my lawn.
It's gonna be a meetup later.
A gun, you're fine.
Yeah, no, the hose, just a hose. I'm not trying to.
A power washer. Get off my lawn.
Yeah, there you go.
We're not in Texas.
Mike,
gets a generator going, like
Mike, I would have to say that I think for me in that whole line of fandom, it's always been wrestling. It's not been comics or movies. It's always been wrestling. Then that kind of got snuffed out when I started working in the wrestling industry, because you get there is this mentality that if you're in the business at whatever level, don't be a mark. So don't be a fanboy. You can be a fan because we're all fans. That's why we're doing this, but don't be a fanboy. So when Hacksaw Jim Duggan shows up to a show, don't be like, oh my God, I remember. You know, like, no, it's, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Jim. John, nice to meet you. You know, you go about your business. So, I mean, for me, that quelled a lot of my fandom, like, because I would think about in the 90s when I would go to wrestling shows and I would have fun and like, you know, just give the business to the bad guys and cheer on the good guys. But then once you get in the biz, you don't do that because you're afraid who's going to see me. How's that going to look, you know, for like for my you know, for me, I worked for one promoter predominantly, Jeff Cannon, and you know, I didn't want to embarrass him. I didn't want word to get back that, hey, I saw John. He was at some Ring of Honor show. He was acting like an idiot. He was you know, blah, 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 blah. So it kind of curtailed it a little bit, and kind of that's where that break started. Even today, that I don't do as much as I once did in wrestling. It's still hard for me to go to a show and let me rephrase that. When I go to a show, I'm not the old way that I used to be a fan in the 90s. I'm still now, because it's just been ingrained in me that, you know, hey, I'm going to the show. I'm going to be, hey, that was a great match. Bravo, guys. You know, and not be the guy giving the bad guys, you're a piece of shit. Bah!
Right.
You know, you're not doing that because
you're not putting on the character of a fanboy, in other words.
Right. You are just being a fan. You appreciate what you are seeing. You understand. And that's the other thing, too. When you're in the business, you understand how it works.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so
like, did that give you a different level of appreciation for it? Because I mean, like we've listened to the Prince and the Wolf podcast where Freddie Prinze talks about writing for the rest. Yeah. So I mean, like, do you have a better appreciation for like the heels or the bad guys who do it well, you know, and stuff like that? Like, does it bring?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yeah, Max, I get a better appreciation for it. It does sometimes make it so that when you sit down to watch SmackDown or Raw, you go, okay, let's not overthink this. I'm sitting on this couch, I'm watching, you know, but sometimes you still slip into it. You're like, oh, you did that move? Why? Right. You know, you slip into it. You can't help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how it's supposed to go. Or you have an idea. I shouldn't say with 100% certainty, but you're like, I know how this match should flow, how it should go, and when something doesn't go right, you're like, okay.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. You're going to Hurricane Runner right now? Yeah, right now?
So, I mean, that's kind of where my fandom was. Is like, you know, up until I got into the biz, I was your typical wrestling fan. But then once you're told and you're instructed, and I wanted to be in the business, I wanted to succeed. So I listened to, you know, hey, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this. Oh yeah, yes sir. Okay. And you did it. So
yeah. And also too, it's like it's kind of just, you know, having your foot in there, essentially, like, it absolutely shifts your perspective and your angle to like, well, you know what, it's not as cut and dry as I thought it would be. It's not as like clear cut. Oh, well, the fantasy is, you know, so much more immersed in reality than that. And it's like, nope, it's a business like any other business, and here's what I got to do to balance it. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel that way a little bit. Like, and I think Brian Lau has talked about it. Like, I've helped him out, you know, with
in the comics industry, yeah,
in the comics, yeah. Like, in fact, he just sent me the other day. He's like, look, man, I finished it. I finished Staunch Ambition. Can you look at the last 10 pages? Yeah, make sure it makes sense. Okay, because I understand he's looked at it for years,
a long time, yeah.
Yeah, and so for him, it might be right. And that's also given me a more appreciation to how folks sit down and really map out a story and create that comic book, because, you know, he's asked, hey, what about this? What do you think of this? You know, here I'm emailing you over some images from Irwin. Here, what does this look? How does this look? How does this work for you? Yada, yada, yada. And, you know, I tell him straight up, there's way too much dead space in the middle of this panel. You need to do something, or that doesn't make sense. Why did you write it? What do you mean by that? And so it does give you that perspective.
Mm-hmm. I guess from my perspective here is like, and where I'm coming at it, fandom, quote unquote, now in my life is because, you know, for my side interest, I do videos and things like that. I put out like either video reviews or essays or things like that. And my content itself has actually kind of changed and evolved from where it was just me coming from a fanboy perspective of being extremely like nitpicky or hyperbolic with regards to my critiques of things, whereas now I'm actually like taking a little bit more time, giving a more even-handed approach. Like, not to toot my own horn here or anything, but like this past weekend I did a brief little video on a scene in Dark Phoenix and how, you know, it's appreciated, and how much
good scene.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, and that's what I did. I'm like, oh crap, I'm posting a video about Dark Phoenix, which I thought was just mediocre, but I was able to appreciate this one thing in it, and I'm like, how much flack am I gonna get for pointing out a good thing in this movie that fanboys or the fandom kind of has ganged up on? And actually, the feedback's been really positive. It's like, I don't know, I might be up to like 900 views or 800 views at this point, you know, which is pretty big for me, a really small fry channel, but the feedback's been overwhelmingly pretty positive. Like, everyone's like, thank you for pointing out that there's this in that film and there's this in that film.
You had to be the one person to say, you know, it's something that everyone thought, but like they don't want to be the one caught praising freaking Dark.
But well, no, but at the same time, I'm kind of also thinking like, well, good, I did take that risk. I'm not like any of those other channels that built their career off of shitting on The Last Jedi for the 50th bajillionth time. You know, like, and that's what got me thinking about this was like, God, those people have it so easy because they just make the same video over and over, and it's just like, and it's just this vitriolic hate for a silly space movie. I'm just
very
like,
cool. And you know, it's just like Dan was saying, you know, when somebody hasn't seen something and you're like, I can't believe you haven't seen that. You know, it's like,
yeah,
don't look at it that way. Look at it like you have the opportunity to show it to them now. And there's something that you get from watching something you've seen 800 times with somebody who hasn't seen it once. There is something in that experience. So like there's definitely an other side to a lot of things like that you can look at and learn from.
And if you like something, and just because your friends don't, own it. Like, I liked Dark Phoenix. I didn't love it, but I did like it. I liked it for the same reason I liked Apocalypse. It's the first time we actually got an X-Men movie. Like,
there's a difference too between us giving each other shit because we're all friends and we like to rag on each other just for shits and giggles, and you know, compared to telling total strangers that they're stupid for liking something. Just because, or telling people they're stupid because they don't like something, because that's, you know, getting into like gatekeeping and things like. And I feel that goes for everything we've mentioned here: video games, wrestling.
Oh yes.
You know, movies over in general, comics and so forth. It's like we get dangerously close to being like, here's how you should appreciate this, when it's like, no, you appreciate it the way you want or don't appreciate it, whatever.
Until Apocalypse came out, we never really had an X-Men movie. Like in Apocalypse and Phoenix, we actually get to see the X-Men working together, and for me that's cool. Like, as a fan of the X-Men, like, the story, I get the story is weak, I do acknowledge that, but I like the X-Men cartoon, I like reading the comic books, and to me it felt like an X-Men, mediocre X-Men story, but it still felt like the X-Men. because all the movies leading up to Apocalypse were just Wolverine films.
I see Max judging so hard. He just turned Max off.
Magneto, Professor X movie.
First Class was half of a good movie, and half of a really, really
the only X-Men.
So you're saying it was the first semester of a good movie?
I like what you did there.
Yeah, your only X-Men movie that you kind of like is Logan and X2, right?
There's two scenes out of X2 that are the best scenes in all of X-Men, and then Logan's good, but that's a whole separate thing, kind of by itself. And
was the Nightcrawler scene one of them?
Yes, the Nightcrawler scene, and then Wolverine goes nuts in the X-Men.
Yeah, okay.
That's all the only scenes we're doing, and they still kind of hold up. Like that was really just very well done. But like it's all action, like it's straight 100% action. They misuse my other favorite character. It would have been nice because X2 almost gave me everything I've ever wanted to see in an X-Men movie, which is Nightcrawler being super awesome and Colossus being super awesome. So like they tease Colossus. You don't really get anything, but they almost did it.
You got Colossus. Oh, you like Deadpool too. I forgot about Deadpool. But I really count them in that. Yeah.
No, that's not the same.
It's such a very specific bar for X-Men movies to be good.
They just haven't done it yet. Like I don't know what like any of the X-Men movies you can pick apart for like 10 different reasons for each movie.
Yeah. But then you realize like these people never ever existed, so what does it matter?
Right.
So it's like who gives a shit?
100% that. But it's just like I want them to do a good X-Men movie. I would love it if they took the Joss Whedon run on Astonishing X-Men and made that into a movie.
How about a good Fantastic Four movie? We have not gotten one.
I'm down for that too.
Roger Corman.
That'd be nice. Oh, okay, fair enough. Honestly,
I have a lot of hope for Disney, and I really hope the rumors surrounding Fantastic Four are true because I think John Krasinski could kill that role.
Yeah,
as Reed Richards.
Yeah, and then they want his wife as Sue Storm.
Emily Blunt?
Yeah.
No. Is that his wife? Emily Blunt?
You're right. You got it right. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
Quiet Place family.
For like John Krasinski and wife.
I couldn't think of the name. Mary Poppins.
That's how it scrolls on the.
Yeah. Also successful actress. And
she had her name legally changed to John Krasinski's wife.
I almost said Pam.
So would they have Herbie? Would they have Thing, Human Torch, and Herbie?
Yes, because we can't have a Human Torch because kids will want to set themselves on fire.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to get exactly.
So we get people covered in earth.
Really quick, back to the fandom topic and John Krasinski. So, Mike, I ended The Office, and I literally hit play on episode 1. I'm watching it again.
There you go. You made it.
You love it. You love it.
Dude, I did not like the first 2 seasons when I watched it, but as the show progresses, you get used to the humor and going back and rewatching 1 and 2 because I flew through it. So I'm like discovering it all again because I'm watching it a lot slower. I'm watching only an episode 2 a day, and I don't know what I was thinking. The first 2 seasons are great. And Jim and Pam are my favorite TV couple, hands down. There's no argument. They are like amazing.
What's some other favorite TV couple?
Well, knowing you, John, it's going to be like
Lois
Sam and Diane or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Eddie Griffith and wife.
Eddie Griffith and wife.
Yeah, he didn't say Jim and Pam. He said John Krasinski and girlfriend from The Office.
First of all, not Sam and Diane. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
What about Jack and Diane?
Jack and Diane? No.
Do they have chili dogs?
Too many is done.
You know what? A strong contender would be Buffy and Angel.
Oh.
All right.
There you go.
Oh,
There you
Mic
go.
drop.
No, what's her name? Cordelia and Angel then.
you ship Cordelia Angel? Is that how you roll?
John, I'm Team Buffy and Spike.
What?
I'm Team Buffy. I don't like Angel. He bothers. I like Angel on his own show, but when he's on Buffy, he bothers me. I don't.
What about Angel and Spike?
Oh, there you go. I'm Team that 100%. Season 5 of Angel is hilarious.
Yeah.
Spike's haunting him for like the first 5 episodes. It's so funny.
Mike, how about your favorite TV couple?
My favorite TV
Yeah.
couple? Jim and Pam is pretty good. I haven't really given that much thought with regards to TV couples.
I think Dan's got one. Dan, do you have one?
I actually, you know what? No.
Okay.
New favorite TV couple is what's his name? Dan Levy and his boyfriend on Schitt's Creek.
Okay.
I do genuinely like those two.
I liked Zoe Deschanel and Jake Johnson on New Girl. I thought.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. All right. Dan?
I'm gonna go with Angel and the Bone Doctor from Bones.
Nice.
Oh.
David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel.
Yes, Emily Deschanel.
He's
Justin.
He's got a whole backstory
So-
of how Angel got there. So.
I don't know why my mind went there, but what about the Addams family? Morticia and Gomez Addams in the TV.
There you go.
I thought they were a good
one.
one.
All right.
Classic?
All
Yeah, I'll
right,
take
there
that.
you go. There you
The
go.
Property
Always
Brothers.
love it. Tish, that's French.
Yeah, the Chip and Joanna Gaines from that show. Fixer Upper.
I mean,
cannot
they'll give
stand
you some
Chip and
mean
Joanne.
shiplap. Mean shiplap.
I did not know what shiplap was until that show. Now I know way too much about shiplap. Sorry.
Those two are annoying. I can't stand them. Serious. My mother loves HGTV. Every time they come on, I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm not watching.
Oh
this.
man!
I never thought I'd hear that about anybody.
Bullshit.
What
John,
age,
I hate all
what
of them.
age is it though, where you could just sit down and watch HGTV? Like it just happens. Where all
I
of a
think
sudden,
around the
like,
time you can own a house. Sorry, it's like around the time he was like, "Hey, I can purchase property."
so like
Let's think
25
about
to
this.
30 is like
I think
when
that's fair.
when it happens. Like you can just, oh, you know what? I'm very interested in shiplap. Like,
No.
Oh,
I
that
wanna
would
take
look
a
nice in the
second.
kitchen.
I want to take a second. Anybody that's watching us in the comments, thank you so much for tuning in. Our viewership has been amazing. Could you please send us any comments, questions, anything that you want to add to the podcast? We are happy to read it on air and discuss.
Where would you like to see your shiplap? An important comment.
I like shiplap in the bathroom.
I got it. Best television couple. You ready?
All right.
Billionaire and his wife. Gilligan's Island.
Oh.
A
How about
millionaire.
90 Day Fiancé? You get a whole bunch of them.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
It's a joke to the whole and wife thing that I said earlier.
I see.
Does Gilligan's Island get Me Too'd because they refer to her as the wife?
Why are we back to that?
Good God, man.
It's one thing if it's make-believe characters. If the actors themselves turned out to be scuzz buckets, then that's another thing. We're not doing fantasy Me Dude.
Is that like fantasy football?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like
Darth Vader.
Hat.
You gotta make a bracket, and then the one that makes it to the end without getting me too wins.
See, if you would have bet on Regis Philbin last year,
Yeah,
you'd
see?
be gold right now.
Yeah. Regis Philbin's a real person, so I'm talking about like. Nah.
Talking on Dan's point about the Me Too bracket. So when my sister got married, the Pope was on life support, and Fuzzy, who's a frequent guest of the podcast, wrote down some numbers 0 to 59, and he had people at the wedding betting on what time the Pope's death would be. You know, guessing on the last two characters.
That's terrible.
Because that's a wedding thing.
Hold on. My sister was so mad because you'd just walk up to you. It was like the most shady thing ever. Hey, I got some numbers on the Pope. If you want in. And he had like 100 people participating in this thing. But what we didn't know is the Pope had already died like 2 hours prior to my sister's wedding.
And he knew that and he was hustling people?
No, I thought Fuzzy's just over there like, yeah,
What a
let's
great
get some numbers down.
And that's a great omen.
What a great story.
Like one.
You know, I'm not much.
He-
I'm not a very pious individual, but I think Fuzzy's going straight to hell on that one. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My dad,
He doesn't believe in hell.
my dad's friend walks up to me and he goes, I hear somebody selling numbers. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I want to get in. I'm like, see the guy with the fro? That's the guy you want to talk to.
Find the shadiest person looking person here. Oh my god.
So, hey, real quickly, how do the numbers work, actually? Who picks the actual numbers? Like, you know, when you're watching those 70s movies, and they mentioned it last night in Fear City about running numbers, who picks the winning number? Like, how does that work?
The better the numbers that they go with, and then they bet against everyone else who picks different numbers. I'm not sure how the kitty works in that instance, because the organized crime, the bettee has to take some kind. But I mean, the rest goes to the winner, and the other guys have to pay, I guess.
Okay, because I've seen that multiple times here in different movies I've watched, and it came up last night again, and I'm like, well, how do numbers work? Like, I get you pay your money to I want to play 321, and I know it's like the lottery, but the lottery is a state government entity. Who picks the numbers in like Brooklyn for that particular group of people? So okay, well.
I assumed it's like an assigned person in the neighborhood that everyone knew that person was the one picking it, so they knew there wasn't a shady going on. Maybe it was a public thing. Maybe
I don't know.
I don't know.
Turkey's podcast does not condone the actions of Fuzzy or anybody at the wedding.
But no, it's like for the longest time I had no idea what the VIG meant.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, and then the VIG. I'm like, sure.
I don't even know what that is.
And you just kept losing.
Like so that's mob slang for the interest that you pay if you if you can't pay right now. Like, okay, well you owe. Oh, go plus the VIG.
And then one day 2 men showed up to collect Max's thumbs.
We worked it out.
Okay. All right. I was unaware of that. I learned something new. Thank you, Max and Justin.
Yeah, like pay attention to
the definition and everything.
Talk about the VIG.
You can tell I'm not a gambler. Like I'm like I have no idea. I'm completely clueless.
No, I'm shocked you're not a gambler.
I'm not. I gambled. I gambled for the first time in a very long time. Last Memorial Day when I was out in Vegas for AEW Double or Nothing, I played some blackjack and did pretty well, because I mean I started with $100. I came home with like $42. So I'm like, I don't think that's too bad. That's a little more than half you lost. So
yep. I mean, the only thing I can tell you about gambling is whatever money you plan on losing in gambling, bring only that money.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Fine when it's gone and stop.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's one time I went to the casino, the casino here in Columbus. I had $30. I put it on black. I won $30. I left the casino. Like
there you go.
You followed Wesley Snipes' advice, didn't you?
Bet on black.
Not all of his advice, hopefully, because you're.
Do you do your taxes?
You do your taxes.
I definitely claimed my winnings and my taxes. I filed all my shit. Like, I made sure it was good.
So that way you don't have to show up in Mr. Planner's commercials.
Yeah, I do my taxes once a decade, like every American.
For anybody who tuned in hoping we would talk about Ray Park, we've decided to wait till next week. But what we're going to give you in relation is we're going to talk about Ray Parker Jr.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Hey, The Other Woman is an underrated 80s tune. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair. That's fair.
Take your word for it.
I don't know if it's overrated or underrated, but I watched the first episode of Warrior Nun on Netflix.
Oh.
And if the entire series is to be judged by the first episode, don't watch it. Don't watch it.
Does Ray Parker Jr. do the theme at least?
I wish. I had to make sure I got it out there before we started going off on anything else, and I didn't get a chance to talk about it.
If you take the vows, kick some big ass. Who you gonna call? Warrior Nun.
That was like a country. Is that what the Ray Parker?
Yeah, that's my Ray Parker Jr. impression. He sidelines into like country for some fucking reason.
You know what? He should be like Darren Tucker. He should come make a comeback. Go into Nashville.
Can we call him by his legal name, please? Hootie.
Hootie needs to
I'm sorry. Yes. I thought you were yelling at me for Ray Parker. I was going to say, I put the junior at the end. I
thought it was the Blowfish was his legal name.
Ha! Middle name and the.
Anyone who plays with Hootie is a Blowfish.
Hey, I totally forgot about this. It just clicked in my head. Did anybody see that? I just saw this in my news feed. Dennis Quaid apparently married a 27-year-old woman, and he's 66.
Okay.
And they
It's-
had this,
love.
It's the least shocking thing a Quaid has done.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
like
the whole article is about how they get along
Age
so
is
well.
just a number, unless we're talking about pedophiles.
I'm just saying.
When you can consent, after you can consent, age is just a number.
I'm just saying it was weird because he looks terrible. She's a very attractive woman, but he looks horrible.
I wonder if it's like the Parent Trap movie. Like she'll be the child and he traps her.
Oh.
is he the one that's been squatting everywhere?
no,
No, that's Randy.
that's Randy.
Okay. All right.
That's why I was saying it's the least shocking thing a Quaid has done because Randy's done some shit.
Okay, so he has a home to bring his young wife to.
Yes,
something.
apparently he does. Yes.
Yes.
He still makes movies.
Randy Quaid?
Dennis Quaid. Randy Quaid is on another planet.
I mean, but you saw that coming though, right? I mean, like he's been playing that guy for a while.
Randy Quaid has turned into his character from Independence Day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie and his character from Independence Day have become him.
Yeah, like he's been playing that guy for a while. It's not we just found out that he wasn't acting.
Yeah. I mean, was he ever actually playing that guy?
And I'm so looking forward to interviewing him next week on the Three Geeks.
I wish. Oh my goodness. I would interview Randy Quaid right now.
You guys think we could get him? I'll reach out.
Probably one of the listeners.
I mean, like, does he have a Twitter? He doesn't have a home. Does he have a Twitter?
I don't know. He's putting this stuff out.
There's a P.O. box. We'll find it. It's okay.
Does he have a phone?
Now, Randy Quaid, if you want to come on the podcast, bro, like we will have you on the podcast.
You could tell us all of your stories.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk
All of them.
About how you're the dude from Independence Day in real life. Like I'm just like that's gonna happen.
You can even rag on your brother. There you go.
That's
If
an
you want-
open.
I mean,
Wouldn't
like,
that be weird? He's like, yeah, he's marrying way too old or something like that.
Yeah,
Be like,
like
dude, who are
27.
you to judge?
God.
My God, get some sensibilities about you, brother. Randy
You sound
just
like
sobers
Hulk.
up for that one moment.
You sound like Hulk Hogan on that one, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Tell you something, brother.
Well, what can you expect? My Ray Parker Jr. sounds like he's got some country in him, and my Randy Quaid is the Hulkster. Why not?
His Ray Parker Jr.'s got a splash of hootie. His freaking.
We have taken this audience
His Randy
everywhere
Quaid
today.
has got a splash of wrestling in it.
Hey, real quickly, I'd just like to throw it out there that I'm very excited that the NHL postseason is starting next weekend. So, and hope
Okay.
everything
John,
goes
we're gonna
well.
have you on Sports Nerds, dude. Like, we got to do a Sports Nerds episode. That's yeah, we got to talk sports with you. Apparently,
Okay.
I didn't realize.
Although this Stanley Cup, it's hard to pick.
I
the
knew,
way
I
they're
knew
doing
you were
this
into
play.
hockey and wrestling, but I didn't realize like you're on talk about it on the internet levels of interested. So
Okay.
He mentions it for one sentence. You should be on our podcast.
like, okay,
That should be the new pickup line,
That's
Justin.
all it takes.
I mean, like, Philip left us, and there's been a hole in my heart ever since Philip left us. And we need a third, though. And like, Sports Nerds isn't the same with I don't know. So I'd like to have you on. I feel like it
Okay.
would be good stuff.
Okay.
We don't watch sports ball, me and Dan.
Yeah, I mean, I watch wrestling, but
I watch sports. I'm a fan.
I like sports.
Justin's like, fuck you, I watch sports.
It's okay. I don't have to talk about the internet. I'm fine.
If football is happening, there's definitely been a shakeup of the Sports Nerds Fantasy Football League of Justice. So if you guys would be interested in that, also we can probably facilitate getting on the fantasy football.
Who
roster.
currently has the trophy?
Rondell is the current owner of the trophy, but we're having his name put on it, so he doesn't actually have the trophy. But he did win last season, and he's an asshole. Fuck you, Rondell. I hate you.
Okay, that was harsh.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
man, that was the
watching
most real thing Max
If you knew the
has said all day.
history, you wouldn't even think that's just a tip of the friggin' iceberg, man.
Max got mad. He thought we were replacing him with Rondell.
They tried to replace me with Rondell.
is that an option?
I mean, I voted on it.
I didn't show Max the vote results.
You guys
You're
are
mailing your ballot
college.
because
It's
you
all
know,
good.
Justin. If you're mailing in your ballot, that's how the corruption begins, man.
I won.
That's
Sure,
how-
who's
that's
to
how it's
say what I
stolen.
actually voted on? Yeah, you're
I
right.
won the electoral college. It's all good.
How did that turn into a
And
wrestling
I lost
promo,
my
John?
vote.
I will only join your fantasy football team if we can all do intros like wrestling for the fantasy football team.
We were gonna actually.
The running Justins are gonna come for you, brother.
Like,
Don't you
this
worry
year-
about it.
This year we had decided to do the draft live, and then COVID hit. Like
We could do the draft live now.
I mean, yeah, it can still be something, but like we were gonna have a thing, and yeah.
And now there is no
Can't have a
thing.
thing without COVID, right? I'm with you.
Hey, I'm still mulling over that. You know, you said one thing on the internet. Would you like to be on a podcast? We'll start working,
That's
massaging
how
that
all,
line. You know,
I mean, that's if you said one thing on the internet, you are now qualified to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Like that's.
yes.
That's how it
Heard you had
goes.
an opinion.
You probably already
Let me
have your
record
own.
it.
I can see it now when quarantine, when all this is away and bars are back open. Slide up next to the bar. Excuse me, man.
That's how you become an influencer these days. You say
You have your
one thing.
recorder.
Yeah.
Uh,
Excuse me, miss. You're very attractive. And would you like to
George
say one thing on the
comments,
internet?
damn, he is going off. Is he angry? Did he lose the Super Bowl? Did you lose the Super Bowl?
Oh
Max?
yeah, no. Rondell's beat me twice for the fucking trophy. 2 times. Fuck that dude. I cannot stand that dude.
I can't believe you just bringing in that.
That's hot fire.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No, fuck him. This is a stance I've had for years.
This is not new beef.
No,
folks. This is not
Rondell
new
knows.
beef.
Rondell knows he can. Oh, look. If Rondell wasn't such a nice dude and a stand-up father and a great citizen, I would punch that dude in his face if I saw him in the street. Like, I can't stand that dude. I cannot stand playing fantasy football against Rondell.
Would you turn the hose
Like,
on him? Would you turn your hose on him to get off my lawn?
Look, he doesn't have to be on the lawn. He doesn't have to be on the lawn. I'm going to chase that dude down with the hose. I'm going to get the extra extended length hose so I can go to his house and spray him with the hose.
He sounds like a wonderful person. He just beats you at
Rondell's
fantasy football.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man.
Look, this dude is a great father. He's a great chef. Fuck him, okay? Fuck Rondell.
Justin, if you ever want to meet Rondell, as soon as a black superhero movie comes out, he usually pops on to review it with us. That's the last like 3
No, I
times.
mean,
Do you have like a bat signal? Like, hey, this is a thing.
I
Come
got
over.
the trophy one time, but if there's anyone
Justin.
I hate
Yeah.
in my fantasy
He's
football
never-
league,
He's not
It's
coming on
fucking
because we
Rondell.
besmirched the name of Black Lightning.
Oh no.
That's Rondell's
Yeah.
never coming back on.
Yeah.
All right, somebody
Yeah.
get Max.
We
a
said
beer
happy
and a
birthday.
massage.
Max is all about stabbing.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah.
everybody. Thank you,
Stabbing
everybody,
everything, I
so
don't
much
know.
for tuning in. Check us out on
Are you-
iTunes,
we got 4 minutes.
Stitcher. I know.
Yeah, we still got
Wrap-up
4
usually
minutes.
Takes like 4 minutes.
all right.
Stitcher, Spotify, rate, review, like, share this video. Show Redline Radio LLC a bunch of love. Check out the website, Redline Radio
That dog is
LLC.com. Hey,
That dog is fine.
see?
It's like, what's going on?
That
Is there a
dog is
hostage
stabbed.
negotiation going on in the next room? What the-
Getting stabbed.
It's Black
Oh,
Lightning.
no,
What
no,
up?
no.
He's here. Red folks.
that dog is totally fine. She just freaks out when you leave her alone, okay? So everyone's left from upstairs.
I am absolutely flattered and shocked by the number of views we had today and everybody's in the chat. It's been amazing, like amazing. I can't wait to tell these guys all about it. But thank everybody for listening. Check out the PVD cast on this station every Sunday at 9:30, Monday at 9:30.
Monday. Someday.
What are you doing, Jason?
It is a day.
It's
You
been
should
2
watch it.
hours.
Yeah.
All right, well, all right. We got to wrap it up.
I mean, nobody knows what day it is anyway, so it's fine.
That's fair.
It's fair. That is correct.
Follow us on
Accurate.
Twitter at 3 Geeks Podcast. Follow John on Twitter at PVDNVP.